What's up? What's up, everyone? This is my first attempt at a YouTube video. I wanted to, I wanted to I wanted to just try this out, right? I wanted to just try getting on camera and talking about things that are on my mind. And today, I wanted to talk about Pixar's Elemental because you guys, I don't know what it is. This movie gave me hope. And so yeah, I wanted to talk about it today. Specifically, I wanted to talk about Wade and Ember's love story because I didn't expect this movie or this story to have the impact on me that it did. Even though I love Disney, I love Pixar, I was amazing. I didn't know what expectations to have for this movie, but I'm so glad I've watched it, and I've watched it multiple times since since the first time, and this dynamic between, you know, Ember. She comes from an immigrant family. There's a sense of this sense of working hard for her family, like this for the dad. This shop was a dream of the family, like coming here to have a better life. And the one they left, where all like home was destroyed, they had to venture out, have a better life. She grew up seeing all the sacrifices that her parents made for her, and not once did she ever actually like think to herself before meeting Wade, do I actually want this? Like I grew up being told this shop is gonna be mine one day, and that's exciting. I never stopped to ask, what do I actually want to do? Like the assumption was, yeah, I'm gonna run the shop. And Ember, Ember's a something that I don't understand why it didn't hit me the first time I was watching, but with Ember's creative spirit, there is that idea that creative careers aren't real. Like you know what I mean? Like you'll hear like the response of somebody who is a creative, usually, I'm not going to say usually, but oftentimes, is like, how you going to make money in that? You know what I mean? Like how are you going to make money in that? That's not a real job. Or like I have a friend who is a dance teacher, and apparently she got comments from people talking about when are you gonna get a real job? And I'm just like, she has a real job. Like I don't understand how people think teaching and like teaching dance isn't a real job. Like it confuses my existence. I'm just like, so she's here, she's making money, helping the next generation of dancers. Like, and teaching them. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm like, doing something she loves, teaching the next generation, and that's not a real job. Whatever. I'm just move on. She Ember's a creative spirit. Wade, I love Wade. I I'm just gonna say this now. I love Wade. I love Wade. That is my boy. He's such a good character, such a sweetheart. I just, my gosh, he's one of my favorite male characters, to be honest. And the dynamic of their relationship, with Ember dealing with these pent up emotions that she hasn't truly sat down to let herself feel. and Wade coming in and holding space for her and is that allowed her to open up and recognize these things about herself that she didn't even realize, and him not here's a difference between most, I'm not gonna say most, but many guys I have known and the guys on, my TV shows and I I love most of my favorite characters are guys. And it's really interesting to me that the the way these characters are portrayed is usually so different from my actual experience with guys, and that's upsetting. I'm like, it's upsetting. But Wade as a character, I feel like he's already in a very healthily developed place. And Ember has these pent up emotions that is causing her to explode. And it's so interesting to me because I think there is like some amount of pressure. I don't know if it's externalized or if it's just like an internal pressure that if you're going to be in a relationship or if you're going to be with someone that you have to have yourself completely together beforehand. And I saw a video on, I think it was Instagram or something the other day, and it was talking about, it may have been TikTok, I don't know, but it was saying something about how you don't have to have it all together. Like, you don't have to be in the perfectly most healthy state to have a partner. You have to be willing to be on your healing journey, though. Like, I feel like I'm not explaining this enough, and if I come across that video, I'm totally gonna put it in the comments. But it was my I'm gonna try to explain this because I haven't explained this out loud, and none of this is scripted. I wanted to just try to turn on this camera and just start talking. But this idea that you don't have to be perfect, you don't have to have it all together. Even if you're still on your healing journey, there could still be somebody who sees you and holds space for you and who loves you as you are. And guys, that gave me some hope. I am an oriented aro ace person. Okay? And I'm also an introvert. And I have been dealing with this kind of back and forth in my head about finding, because I'm an aro ace person. But I'm an oriented aro ace person. I still experience attractions that are not sexual, they're not romantic, and I still eventually want to find like a partner, right? I still want like a close, intimate relationship with somebody. And because of so much of the rhetoric, I'm in my 20s. I'm still figuring out my life, and there are so many questions and doubts and things that people really don't, or they, at least they didn't talk about, that comes with being in your 20s in this transition period from school life to adulthood. Like people didn't talk about this, and maybe I'll do another video talking about this. But all the like doubts and things and the questioning and the trying to figure out my place in the world, mixed with how society views, they have romance and like sexual relationships like up here. Like this is the thing that people are supposedly supposed to be aiming for, you know? And for a person who has, I thought I did experience like romantic attraction and stuff, it was much easier for me to accept my asexuality than it was to accept my aromanticism, because I had big feelings for people growing up, and there really isn't as much of a variety in terms of representation, in terms of different types of relationships. Because it's like, even with the rise in like LGBTQIA plus representation, and I love that, and that makes me so happy to see, because it means a lot to people to be able to see themselves like well represented, and to know like this is okay, you know, like I'm not the only one who feels like this, you know. I love that for people. I love that for people. But even with that rise, the majority of the relationships are still like like obviously romantic and sexual. Like sexual stuff is often framed as such an important part of relationships. And I'm sure it is for a lot of people, but for somebody who does not experience that type of attraction and doesn't specifically want that type of relationship to not see representation of other types, it's isolating. You know what I mean? It's isolating. Um, so like I was saying, that like the identity stuff and the questioning for that, mixed with life and this transition of, you know, being in my 20s, trying to figure out my place in the world, what I'm gonna be doing. It's a lot of stuff, you know. It's a lot of stuff, and I feel like people who internally are dealing with a lot of stuff sometimes have like this fear that people aren't gonna want to deal with them. You know what I mean? Like somehow us dealing with stuff would be a burden on somebody else, and that just makes it more isolating and more lonely. And it's, yo, it's scary to have that kind of mentality, because it's, you start feeling like, okay, I have to figure everything out now. I need to get myself together, or else people won't want to be around me because I'm not perfect. And but none of us are perfect, you know. None of us are perfect. Humans, we look out here and think they got everything all together. Half of them still trying to figure mess out too. Like they don't even have it all together. Like we're all going through our own struggles, and the mentality that we have to be perfect to be in relationship with others, even if it's not like romantic relation, friendships. Like I felt such a pressure around friendships recently. Like I'm afraid to go out and meet new friends because I'm afraid that I won't be accepted as me. Like I need to have all my mess together. I need to know exactly what I'm doing. I need to be making money. I need to, because it seems like societal, I'm not gonna say societal, but this idea of friendships that I keep seeing, the pictures posted online. It's easy. We live in an age of social media. It's easy to start comparing people going out places and doing all these things that, cost money. I'm like, dang it, I am fine, chilling at home watching movies and like singing along to Disney. Like like that's perfectly fine for me. Other people, it's like, "Ooh, let's go to this place and let's go to that place or this restaurant and that restaurant." And I'm like, firstly, that costs money that I do not have. And I saw some study that apparently happened that was like that I don't remember what specific generation it was, but they were like, studies say that this generation, or like, it may have been Gen Z, and that's even more terrifying, and or millennials or whatever. I think it was a Gen Z though, talking about how they wouldn't want to befriend somebody who doesn't make what they make or higher. And as a human, at this point, I am basically a stay-at-home sister. Um, so as a human who is in this transition period, I'm in my 20s. I'm trying to figure life out, figure out what is this career that I want to pursue, and someone who is not actively making, an income. Hearing a mess like that terrified me. It probably sent me into a spiral because it's like it's putting these thoughts in my head that I have to hurry my growth process. I have to hurry and just figure something out, because if I don't, people won't want to be around me. People won't. But then it's like the ideas of friendship that I'm seeing are also, I'm not calling their friendships shallow, but I'm talking the idea that friendship is just people you go places with and do things with. Whereas for me, I am a person who I want to have a conversation with you. Like, I want to be able to talk to you, and for you to be able to, talk to me. Like, I want deep friendships. I don't want that surface level, hey, how are you? How you doing? And we're just doing activities kind of a thing. Cuz then I still feel like I don't have then I still feel like I don't have friends. Cuz for me, if I feel like I just straight up can't talk to you about anything, something's bothering me, I can't go to you because it's going to burden you. That's it's not a good place to be in. And back to Elemental. Wade, I think I became drawn to especially because of his openness emotionally. Like, he's so emotionally open. I know it's played for comedy with the whole crying and like his family and the crying, and it's like their water. So but I'm like, I know it's played for laughs, but it's like he's so compassionate and so open emotionally, and he's in a healthy enough place that he can like hold space for other people emotionally as well, without, like, I think for some of us who are like, how do I say this, like some really empathetic people who automatically hold space for others have problems with holding space for themselves. Wade is not that person. Like, he may have been within the, the timeline of his life, like, but at this point he's a healthy person who loves himself, is open about himself, recognizes his own feelings, and also is able to hold space for others. And I think that's amazing. And I I am hoping to grow to this point. I am on my healing journey, you guys. I am on my growth journey, and that's, he has traits I want. And I think that's it. I'm like, I I naturally play that role for a lot of, for friends, for other people. Like, I have always been that person who I'm like, you can come to me. Like, if you need me, you can talk to me. I will listen. And I will be there for you. But I have had that struggle with holding space for myself. And recently, like in this past years, that's what I've been trying to learn, to hold space for myself, to let myself feel what I need to feel, and to work past that. And in that way, I am better able to hold space for others. Because if I can approach it from a place of, I love myself enough to hold space for me and to recognize who I am and what I need in life and in relationship. And if I can do that, I will be better equipped to hold space for other people, and to be able to really connect with others, you know? And interestingly, I projected myself into to Wade's role, which happens to me a lot with these characters. I end up aligning myself with, if they're a character like Wade, this, like the like compassionate, the I'm here for you type of character. I usually, and it's often guys for some reason, especially in like in animation, and I usually automatically align with them. But I do connect with Ember in some way, as a creative person who, I have a very close relationship with my mom, and I do see, sacrifices she makes for me throughout my life. And there is a sense of not wanting to let her down. Like, it's a different type of situation, and there is no thing that she's like, or role I was supposed to inherit. Like, she doesn't own like a shop and I was supposed to take over or anything. It's a different kind of situation. But I do understand and connect with that sense of, I don't want to let my mom down. I don't want to let my parents down. And there is a lot of pressure that gets internalized, even if it wasn't externally put on. Like, you just kind of develop this sense of responsibility. And Give me a second. Sorry. You you develop like this sense of responsibility and this sense of I want to make them proud, right? Like I want to make them proud. I want to make them proud of me. I want to do what I can to live up to the expectations they have for me, right? And it gets scary when you realize that you have you have some dream or some want, some desire that steps outside of the idea of what expectation they have for you is. Like even if it's like for Ember, her father throughout her life she was hearing she's gonna run the shop someday, right? I didn't get that. I didn't get that. However, I do think that sometimes we do kind of internalize, like even if it's just like some certain like things that maybe was said or you heard other people say it and maybe you reject, maybe they believe this as well. um you do kind of internalize this sense of what you believe they want for you, and stepping outside of that's scary. Like that, ooh, that's scary because now you're like, I don't want to let them down. What if they're disappointed in me, you know? But my mom recently has been telling me to just do me, you know. I've been fighting the heck out of like these internal like doubts and fears, and I don't want to let anyone down, and like rejection wounds from like the past, and it's a lot of stuff, right? Like it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of internal stuff. We all have our internal stuff we going through. This is mine. Like, but my mom keeps telling me that I need to stop worrying about what everyone else thinks and what people are gonna think of me, and just go after whatever my dreams are. Not to let anything like hold me back. Not to let people's opinions hold me back. Not to let the things people said about me when I was younger and like growing up hold me back. And it's a journey. It's a journey, but bottom line is Elemental in a way is a comfort movie right now. Um because those fears, those like we're usually a lot harder on ourselves in terms of what we perceive to be our flaws or the places we don't measure up, or the idea that we can embrace certain parts of ourselves, like we can embrace those dreams that we have kept buried, and the idea that somebody can love you even with your flaws, and they can support you, and it's a really beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing, and and specifically for Wade, with my boy being such an open person emotionally, I that idea that you can be open, because I feel like I have dealt with like feeling like I had to be. I wasn't. I can't say I wasn't allowed, but like there was this pressure to not be open about my emotions and what I was thinking, because it's like, okay, I love the idea and what was shown in Ember and Wade's relationship of loving each other fully. You know, it's like Ember had her baggage. Oh, Wade was a very emotional person. I loved that little moment at the end when her dad like looked at Wade and his mom just over there like crying. And he's like, "Are you sure about this one?" Like I loved that moment. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure. And it was so cute. It was so cute. I loved everything about this movie. But it's like, yeah, that loving each other fully, loving the complete self, loving your complete self, and not having to hide who you are and how you're feeling, and being able to be open. I think that's beautiful. And I think that was beautifully represented in this movie. And yeah, I'm excited to see more stuff like that within media, because I remember a long string of toxic mess that got labeled as romantic in media. Um, so seeing a relationship like this was really refreshing. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for listening. If you or watching, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more. Thank you.